Hello, this is Peter.
Howdy, howdy. Norm's here too.
I just rushed home, put on episode 4, cause we just saw Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
That we did.
We're the Dream Warriors. We won't dream no more. We're the Dream Warriors. And maybe tonight.
And we're here for recording. We're here.
Yeah,
we're
here.
recording.
We are here. We
And-
are here.
Yeah, we had some trouble getting here too again, right?
Software issues.
Well, software issues, and I was talking about the snow.
Oh yeah.
We had some snow. First real snow for the winter.
It barely snow. It was just a nasty, slushy mess.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to any of that stuff, it's always shocking when it first happens. Kind of throws everyone for a loop because you kind of go 10 months without thinking about it, and then you get 2 inches, and all hell breaks loose.
Mm-hmm. Well, if I'd have had the Trailblazer, I'd have been a little bit more inclined, but that one's never been in the snow.
Yeah.
So I'm a
Yeah.
little
little cautious.
yeah.
So
Still got to make payments on that one.
yeah. So we're here to talk about this little independent movie that came out.
Oh yeah, real independent.
Low budget movie, $200 million budgeted movie.
Oh yeah.
Were you aware?
Drops in a bucket.
Yeah. Were you aware of the budget for this when you saw it?
Yeah and no. You know that they had more money than in the past, but not
Yeah. It's
not a direct figure.
So you go $200 million for Rogue One. You add potentially another $100 million for the marketing push,
Right.
and you have $300 million. Mm-hmm. The movie's on track right now. The projection for the Thursday to Saturday is 150.
Okay.
And it had a pretty strong Friday, pretty strong Thursday.
Oh, I know. There were a couple people on my Facebook that were like, "It's even better the second time. Third time's great, guys." I'm
Yeah.
like, damn.
Yeah, and
Damn.
and that is what Star Wars does.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's true.
So yeah, I thought we would maybe discuss. I would run just some basic Star Wars figures by you, just to kind of crystallize what this franchise is. Just because I think a lot of people, when they come into movies, they kind of forget that it's a business.
Oh yeah.
And not that I think it helps make movies any better or worse, but for some reason, when a movie is surrounded by bad business and it becomes like kind of like a little bit of has a following, gets a little cult-ish, gains momentum, it's a great thing.
Right.
When a movie is surrounded by a giant multinational corporation, it comes in a little underneath underneath expectations, it's a disaster.
Right. John Carter of Mars, everybody.
John Carter of Mars is one of the prime modern day examples
Right.
of this.
I think that might be Disney's biggest flop, like to date.
when
Budget versus gross wise.
Yeah, perhaps with it's hard sometimes to. You have to come in with inflation to really be accurate,
Right.
and it's a little tough sometimes because that's an additional line of data that you have to kind of research.
Makes sense.
But I would say even just out of hope, since Disney was with that franchise for roughly 70 years, they were with that franchise going back to the animation days.
Okay.
That yeah, like it was almost like a spiritual crushing moment for that studio. But right, they tried.
Yeah.
I think that movie is a solid effort. I think that movie needed more.
Oh, definitely.
It really did need to have a sequel.
It wasn't as horrendous. It just didn't make any money.
It's just
It's boring, but it's not horrendous.
so we have Rogue One moving towards 150. Definitely gonna make its money back,
Right.
be profitable. It still can get real traction too overseas.
Right.
Okay, even though it's been overseas for a little bit now. The current worldwide is 107.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a 30 million opening, and I thought I would run through what some of the other openings were that mattered.
Okay.
Starting with the Phantom Menace. I had trouble digging this up for
Really?
some reason.
Huh.
Yeah, because here's the thing: a lot of the sites and a lot of these data collectors started to gain relevance after Phantom Menace.
It makes sense.
Because it was such a it was one of those movies that was supposed to shatter everything, and that's kind of started the fascination with box office numbers.
Okay.
So that's an unintended consequence, which I think is a positive one
Oh,
from
yeah.
a movie that's really hyped. Okay, an industry almost, like these websites employ, some of them employ, 30 to 40 people. Mm-hmm. And, it kind of creates a little cottage industry within Hollywood analytics and Hollywood news. And it's great, a few hundred people right now have jobs collecting, crunching, and spitting out movie data.
Living the dream.
So Phantom Menace looks like it did 12 million on Thursday. Okay, now this is back when there were true midnight showings.
Right.
12:01. Mm-hmm. 12:01, maybe 2 screens.
Yep.
Okay, theaters were not shutting down and going to a 12 o'clock showing on all screens
Right.
like they do now. Mm-hmm. Now they don't even do 12. Now it's 7.
Yeah. On Thursday night.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we go face forward a few years. The industry changes. Expectations. People know what the audience wants. We have 30 million for Attack of the Clones.
Okay.
And I do remember both of these movies. Attack of the Clones was a huge, huge jump. Mm-hmm. The theater was cleaned out. Every single screen was Attack of the Clones.
Yep.
And they were rolling at 12. I think the one was like 11:58 they had.
Okay.
So for whatever reason. Okay. And that's and then we jump to Revenge of the Sith. The most hyped, the most expected of the 3.
Right.
Because of what people knew, like where the story was going to go, what
It
was going
all
to happen.
built to this.
Yeah.
This is the last gap to fill in.
So huge anticipation. I think this had the best marketing campaign and marketing, like the branding and the approach of 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, yeah.
Everything was red. Everything was lava.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was Vader. I remember Mountain Dew coming out with like a Vader soda, like a Vader flavor that was grape.
Okay.
Which I think they still have now. It might be called Mountain Dew Black.
I want to say it's pitch black. Yeah.
Yeah, but they carried that over into their normal lineup.
Okay.
I also remember, they might, just side note, I think for Lay's potato chips for Attack of the Clones, they had dill pickle Yoda potato chips,
Okay.
which have now become a staple. Okay.
Righto.
And I just always thought those were good. I just want to throw that in there.
I just remember Phantom Menace coming out and buying bag after bag after bag of Lay's because they had them on there.
Yeah.
And you got the little cart. I remember I got a Darth Maul phone. That's still sitting in a box. It's a little Darth Maul flip phone that has to plug into the wall, but I have it.
Do you remember the Pepsi soda? That was episode 1.
No.
Yeah, I think they had 22. It was 22 cans.
Okay.
Each one had a black and white picture. Like full can.
Uh-huh.
Not as sophisticated as there were some Fantastic Four ones and Batman vs Superman ones that were like just awesome because they were like it was full.
I got the Avengers ones. I got the full set of those.
Okay, yeah, and it's just full 4-process printing, full shading. This is early, like talk about Star Wars. Like Star Wars innovates entire media spheres.
Yep. I
Okay.
remember Pizza Hut had Frisbees for episode 1 that
Yeah.
were rubber. They had the boxes had Darth Sidious on them.
They
the
also
droids.
had the character toppers. Mm-hmm. Okay, and if you go to any flea market right now, you will find Jar Jar.
Oh yeah.
cup toppers. Mm-hmm. So Pepsi had these black and white, okay, like slapped onto the side of the can, cans of soda. And they are still being sold. They're still being traded. They're still, you can buy them on eBay. So, again, like you can thank Star Wars for that promotion, that type of expectation, that type of.
Yeah, how many cans of Diet Dr. Pepper I had to get to find Hawkeye?
Yeah, define Hawkeye. So
He was a bitch, man. Hawkeye was hard to find.
So we have Revenge of the Sith at 50 million. Now we go forward a couple years. We get to Force Awakens, and which was, as we're sitting down, roughly 1 year ago.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Force Awakens comes in at 57 million,
Right.
which is staggering.
Right. Well, at this point, that's the highest grossing domestic film of all time now, right?
Not that I know.
No?
I'm pretty sure Avatar is still number one.
Oh, I thought I heard Star Wars took it.
Nah, Avatar is number one by far.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got to be. Avatar had a higher ticket price. It rained. Avatar was number one for, I think, almost 2 straight months.
Damn IMAX.
Yeah. But that people were engaged. That movie did capture the imagination, despite people saying, like, we're sick of it. We want the sequels, this and that. And I'm like, don't sleep on James Cameron. Do not sleep on this guy.
I can take it or leave it.
This guy has every single thing he touches is, he's one of those true Hollywood geniuses. Just when it comes to the film process, he's not obsessed with marketing like Lucas is. And then we get to Rogue One at 29 million. So I think Rogue One, for what people knew about it, I think 29 million is very strong from a familiar franchise, but roughly with characters no one knows.
Right.
A plot that is, you had to explain it. Mm-hmm. A marketing that didn't really highlight the plot. That it was almost based on imagery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And so let's just jump to worldwide box office, starting with Phantom Menace. Worldwide, Phantom Menace, $1 billion.
Okay.
Now we have Attack of the Clones. People were so upset about Phantom Menace. I do remember Attack of the Clones not having like hype or juice. There was no real excitement for Attack of the Clones, but it still pulled in 656 million.
Well, that one right there should have been our first Star Wars movie. It should have never had to get to Rogue. You spend 2 hours out of 2.5 hours of Attack of the Clones, the big Clone Wars opening, with him dicking around on a planet with Padme. Stop the madness.
Well, it's a odd detective story, and it really is another one that it doesn't have a discernible focus. Phantom Menace is really tough sometimes because there's no focal character in Phantom Menace.
Right.
Attack of the Clones is almost the plot version of that, where it doesn't have a real discernible focal plot. Like the plot's not in focus.
Side note.
Yeah.
Gone with the Wind, #1 highest grossing film of all time.
Well, you're talking with inflation.
With inflation. #2, Avatar. #3, Star Wars. #4, Titanic.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. You still can't beat Gone with the Wind. Which I watch that movie maybe every other month. Gone with the Wind.
I haven't seen it in forever.
Okay.
I have seen it,
Well,
but it's
what'd you
been
see?
quite a long...
Was it in school? Did you
No.
watch it?
It was
Okay.
like on. I guess my grandmother was watching
Yeah.
it or something way back in the day, and I just kind of, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Yeah, and anyone that grew up with Gone with the Wind has that movie embedded in them. Okay, because it was a cultural shift. That movie. So we have Attack of the Clones at 656 million. We have Revenge of the Sith. Again, people know what to expect. They're excited. They're hyped. 848 million.
Okay.
Then we get to Rogue One. We don't know yet. New Hope, the one that started it all. 786 million.
Okay.
Worldwide. Get this. Where do you think Empire comes in compared to New Hope? With all things considered, Empire being what is universally considered the best one.
Right. I'm gonna have to say a little less based on what I just pulled up there.
Okay, Empire, 534 million. Return of the Jedi, 772 million.
Okay.
Force Awakens, 2 billion. Okay, so what's obvious is that there were things in Force Awakens that it was engineered to bring people back
Right.
to what they love about Star Wars, but to also redefine it, and I still back this up, to do it better than any other Star Wars movie.
Okay.
Okay, because when you think of a Star Wars movie, it's not episodes 1, 2, and 3. It's not really episode 4. It's not New Hope.
Right.
It's not Return of the Jedi. Empire is too much of an art film. Mm-hmm. Like, meaning that it's just it's just too much opera.
Right.
But Force Awakens is Star Wars. It's almost like my view on Rocky 4, where Rocky 4 is the Rocky movie people imagine if they never seen Rocky movies. Like, just, I mean, like with the tone, the
Right.
fighting.
Two titans just bow, bow,
But
bow,
if they watch
bow.
Rocky, it's like, whoa, it's slow and dramatic and harsh.
It's all built to the fight.
Yeah.
Whereas
Right.
4 is
Rocky 4 is just like,
the fight
we're
is
fighting.
built around
like,
the movie. Like,
this,
yep.
this is something easy for you to understand. We're fighting. Okay. I do feel like Force Awakens has a better built-in mythology than any of the other ones,
Okay.
including Rogue One. It has a more of a built-in like backstory to between the episodes,
I can see that.
better than Episode 4, better than New Hope.
Okay.
And outside of Han Solo, the characters, pound for pound, if you match them up, are more engaging, and I think they're more fun than if you start with New Hope. Okay, Han Solo literally saves New Hope when it just comes to character interactions, and sounds crazy, but C-3PO and R2-D2 definitely, but BB-8 is so freaking so funny.
I
and
remember
so
I
cute.
hated him throughout all of the marketing. I just said I want to kick that
Really?
stupid soccer ball. I hated him. And then as the movie went on, man, sure enough, I got the BB-8 hanging on the tree now at home.
It's funny when R2 was originally written, he spoke English
Okay.
and he was a dick.
I think I've heard. I know he was the dick part.
Okay,
Some of that still comes off.
right. R2's still a dick. Okay, in 4, 5, and 6, 1, 2, and 3, R2 is a complete mess.
Yeah.
especially in episode 3.
Yeah.
complete mess.
Why couldn't you fly all along?
Yeah, but BB-8 kind of compares with that droid Phil. Rogue One competes with that droid Phil. Mm-hmm. Okay, but BB-8, they literally made that robot cute and lovable.
Right. They
And-
gave him personality
and it
that
just-
comes through without
Yeah.
someone having to, without Luke explaining what's coming through on it.
Like, it's almost like the definition of character development.
Mm-hmm.
Because BB-8 has no limbs,
Right.
limited movement, squeaks and beeps, and you just love the SOB. You love that son of a
they
bitch.
put emotion into, like, prime example when he's trying to convince him to lie to Rey and Rey's out of sight and he's looking back and forth like I don't know
Yeah.
what to I
Yeah.
don't know, and then he sticks out the little lighter
Yeah.
like thumbs up, I got you, bro.
But it's even that too. He's even rocking and the
Like,
head's shifting. Yeah,
I don't know who to I don't yeah, he's
Yeah.
right. He's taking me home. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we have worldwide box office. So combined box office of all the Star Wars movies, $6.6 billion,
Okay.
averaging at $740 million per film.
Righto.
Nothing has that. Nothing has that average. Nothing has that consistency. So if people roll their eyes about you seeing Star Wars this weekend, and maybe in my case seeing it twice, it's no different than like really kind of being a part of any football game,
Right.
spending all your like hard-earned money for a giant Super Bowl party, which I love to do, by the way. And it's also a reason to have a party.
Yeah.
Renting the UFC pay-per-views, if you follow that sport,
Yep.
it's no different. And there's something to be said that of a property that universally captures the imagination and kind of inspires and teaches at the same time.
Right.
A generation of people grew up understanding this about Star Wars.
It's true. There's no UFC religion. I'm pretty sure I just saw a Jedi religional book on Amazon floating around, like how to live life as a Jedi.
And
Teachings and religions.
Yeah.
Like,
it's great. It really is.
I think for a while that was in England, that was like the number one voted religion that people identified with for like a decade. Was like Jediism over like anything else.
I don't.
I swear I read that within like the last week or two.
Okay. Maybe we will have to confirm that. England is very like Protestant Catholic, and you know they're a country literally built off of religion.
Yeah.
But let's just go to running times.
Okay.
We'll let that one sit. I would like to look it up to confirm though.
Okay.
Running times. What do you think's the longest Star Wars movie?
Well, I cheated a little bit and I saw your page.
Okay.
But based on that, because I was thinking about it beforehand, I would almost have to say Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Because it feels like
I was
it
gonna
drags.
say that's exactly what I was going to say. It feels like the longest one.
But then you see Revenge of the Sith had 2 extra minutes on it, but at least that one has the action. I mean, it makes sense that one's a little bit longer, but Attack of the Clones just feels the longest.
So the biggest group is, you know, Phantom Menace at 133.
Okay.
The original trilogy comes in under the episodes 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3, Phantom Menace is 133. Attack is 142. Revenge is 140.
Right.
New Hope is 121.
Mm-hmm.
Empire is 124. Return is 131.
Okay.
And Rogue One is 133.
Yes.
And real quick though, I need
That one felt a little bit longer to me too, at points.
the Rogue One.
Yeah.
Really?
Just at points.
We're going to be jumping into this very soon. Is this because of the way that the movie's built, the way it kind of comes in?
It could be, because I mean, you get some action, you get some lull, you get some action, you get some lull. It just, I guess the pacing felt a little bit off until you finally got to the end.
Right. We'll jump right into that.
Okay.
Force Awakens 2 is at 136. Okay.
Right on.
And Force Awakens moves at a certain speed.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. It's almost like a chase movie.
Yeah, it doesn't really drag.
Yeah, and it works very well. So, I want to touch on just 2 movies on what's happening on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
And we're only doing Rotten Tomatoes. We're not doing I ain't doing an average between Amazon, Rotten Tomatoes, and Internet Movie Database.
Mm-hmm.
Just because everything is magnified on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Yeah.
And but I would like to maybe crunch a little bit, you know, some other numbers to get like a true average.
It makes sense.
Okay. But Phantom Menace on Rotten Tomatoes, critics give it 55%, audience gives it 60%.
Okay.
Attack of the Clones, critics give it 65%, audience gives it 55%.
Okay.
So 65-55. Audience-wise, Attack of the Clones is 5 points lower than Phantom Menace.
Okay.
Okay? And I'm just going to touch on 3 movies that we discuss here.
Okay.
BVS, Batman vs. Superman. Critics, 27%. Audience, 64%.
Okay.
Suicide Squad, 26% critics, 56% audience. Ghostbusters 2016. What's your? We were just discussing this. What do you think the critics? What percentage would the critics give Ghostbusters 2016?
I'll say critics went 36. The people, maybe 49.
Okay. Shocker. Critics 73%.
My God.
Audience 54%.
Okay.
So Phantom Menace is, audience-wise, is 4 points lower than Batman vs. Superman.
Okay.
4 points more than Suicide Squad. 6 points more than Ghostbusters 2016. The Phantom Menace. I think that's right. It really says something.
It does.
Says something. Perhaps that movie is not the type of train wreck we think it is.
No, I mean,
Well-
like I said, I was 9, so it was never really a train wreck to me. The train wreck came from everything, all the fallout from it.
Yeah.
Like, Yoda was my master. No, Qui-Gon was your master. Get your story straight. You don't remember meeting R2 and C3. Anakin
Yeah.
doesn't remember owning these. Meltdown.
Yeah.
Like,
And I think that's what a lot of people went through. Mm-hmm. But none of it can ever be fixed.
Right.
None,
It's there.
None of it can ever be tweaked.
right.
I just like when it comes to the special editions and correcting things and all of that. Mm-hmm. You can fix that stuff. You can change the dialogue.
Yeah.
Just do that.
I feel you.
Just-
Well, it's like we just had Revenge of the Sith playing in the background for a little bit, and I was telling Pete, like, I heard a theory on this ending about Padme's
yes.
death that makes it a little
Is
less stupid.
Is it the Obi-Wan love triangle?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's that Palpatine knows, he could sense that Anakin was desperately hurt. Palpatine, having learned from Plagueis how to actually prevent death, siphons Padme's life force and gives it to Anakin. So it's not she's actually giving up on life. Her life force is being drained and the droids can't figure out why. And Sidious is... So when he says, you killed her, in a way, he's kind of telling Vader, like, it's your fault she's dead. 'Cause
Yeah.
I had to...
Well, I still thought it was him killing her was everything. It was like if they are somewhat force connected because it gets passed on to the children.
Right.
So Padme has to have she has to be a conduit through the force somehow. If they're just banging. If they're banging, she's somewhat of a conduit. She's like this connective tissue between Anakin, the Force, and passing it on to Leia and Luke, which is where Luke gets it higher than Leia.
Okay.
Okay, it doesn't equal. Like, no, it's not an equal split. Okay, so him turning to the dark side is what took away her will to live. If you consider her being a conduit.
Okay.
His magnification for the good side of the force, like being a spotlight for it during the good years, helped her fall more in love with him, and
Right.
the two of them breaking their tradition and going deeper into this rabbit hole that there's no way for that to turn out good because the marriage is kept a secret. Like that's even stressful.
Oh, yeah.
I-
Hiding in the corners to give your wife a kiss.
I had it years and years ago. I had an Indian girlfriend, and dude, it's stressful. We had to keep the whole thing from her father, like
Oh,
the
I
whole
believe
freaking thing. It's so stressful. Now you add intergalactic war on top of that. You throw in Jar Jar Binks,
Oy vey.
the murdering of your master, the guy that saved you from slavery, a missing mother. Now, like, come on.
Oh, yeah.
All right, and a very unjarring, unsettling political climate, which is the coming galactic empire. So
true.
yeah, so I think it's time. We gotta do it.
Definitely.
I know a little bit of your feelings because we touched on it.
Spoilers from here on out, everybody. If you haven't seen Rogue One, maybe take a little pause, go see the movie, come back, finish listening to us, because we're not holding back.
Yeah, and the hell with this.
Spoilers, 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 spoilers.
We're going in.
You've been warned.
Okay. I want to know what exactly did you tell me yesterday? I said, hey, give me your quick take. And you said there were things you liked.
There were things I liked and things I didn't.
Okay.
Overall, it's a good movie. It really is good. But for everyone who said it is on Empire level, I kind of want to smack them in the face because they overhyped it to me. That's also on me.
Yeah.
But it definitely adds a new, deep gritty, awesome layer to A New Hope.
So let's get into that. Tell me why it doesn't stack up against Empire.
It just for me, it's overhype. You know, it's like you said, that movie is truly operatic. It's almost an entire saga in and of itself. That one movie. This one just kind of feels like missing pieces to a puzzle. I appreciate it, but there wasn't. I mean, I called it when we first sat down to talk about it forever ago. Like,
yeah, sure.
Everyone's gonna die,
Right?
Because at this point, Captain Kazdian would be like, all of these people who made this groundwork, these steps, would be in A New Hope had they lived. So you knew if they weren't gonna go
to some degree. I also believe Star Wars is expansive enough that you can have, like, you can introduce the whole line of characters and easily have a scene or a couple lines of dialogue to explain them away from New Hope, because New Hope is the only thing that like incorporates other aspects of New Hope is the Obi-Wan conversation. Okay. About the father and, your father, this is his sword. The Cantina scene.
Right.
Which now you see like these, like different aliens. You can't, there's racism against droids in Cantina. Okay. Like where's droid lives matter? We need droids lives matter. Okay. Now, and then there's the Battle of Yavin, that you see that there's like another force out there against the Empire and they're mobilized.
Right.
So like that's as much as the universe building that Episode 4 has, which isn't really a lot. So, I mean, you can have the Battle of Yavin, and you can have a whole group of characters introduced in Rogue One, just not there. It's okay, because it's a big place. It's a big environment. So tell me some of your issues, though. Tell me, like, where you were coming in on this.
I guess it was just my own expectations got in the way.
Okay.
Like, I'd been telling myself for so long, like, all these guys are going to die. Just prepare yourself for it. It's going to happen. You hate movies that do that to you, but it's... and then I guess throughout our conversations leading up to it, you kind of swayed me more into thinking there was a chance that some of them were going to make
it.
That
Especially
the whole,
over.
like, well, I don't see them pushing out all these toys for characters. They're just going to... And that kind of resonated, and I was like, all right, maybe. And then as soon as K2 went, I was like, here we go. Yeah. And then the next one falls. And then the next one. And I was like, son of a bitch, here we go.
So getting to the because now the merchandising seems to be a huge positive for this movie. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not talking about sales. I'm just talking about perception and what people think and what some of these influencers are saying. Which it uncovers the balls of Disney. It uncovers that these guys have grit and stone, and they are making decisions for the movie.
Right.
Okay? Mm-hmm. And someone said, like, I don't know if that's like an ethical thing to have action figures of characters that are dying. And I'm like, what? Like, the fuck? Like, Optimus Prime gets his heart ripped out in Transformers the movie. Like, and like there's endless Optimus Prime toys.
There are plenty of other Star Wars characters, one-offs that get slaughtered, but you own their toy at home.
Look, I remember people telling me that they cried in Transformers the movie when Optimus dies. Mm-hmm. In high school, people tearing up during Armageddon, getting very emotional. I later heard stories about like grown men crying at the end of Armageddon.
Oh yeah,
okay?
Oh yeah, I still get a little weepy every time Bruce stays on that rock. It hits home.
And I think some of that too is that people who had fathers or didn't have fathers, watching that loss, like really hit. I mean, this is something that's not new or old. I think it's something that people forgot, which was the easy play that someone's got to carry on, someone's got to like pull over. But if you do have a microscopic view of the advertising, it is a little bit of the girl, like the girl's the focus, Jen's the focus, and then it's mostly Imperial imagery.
Right. And
very, very like wise, very smart to do that. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, though, it's like I do feel like it was a logical leap to kind of just say like because it's still Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's still this. But hey, Boba Fett gets owned. Endless Boba Fett toys.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's not like I said. It's a leap both ways, but it is something that was more widely practiced in all of the toy lines. I'm talking even. You want to talk G.I. Joe? You want to talk like Rufio? Like I don't know if Rufio had an action figure in Hook. I think he did. But I remember Rufio's death in Hook when I saw that. I was like, oh my, like I couldn't believe they killed Rufio. He was so freaking cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's there. Okay. It's always been there. You know, anytime they make an action figure of a villain in the movie, usually the villain dies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And then sometimes the whole movie dies, which would be the Super Mario Brothers live action movie.
Hey yo.
Yeah, that's an action figure.
Hey.
That's an action figure line from from
Dennis Hopper did his best. You
Yeah.
leave that movie alone.
So, and then what are like? Where are you on what you liked about it?
There's quite a bit I like. There really is. One of the main things that stands out: Star Wars first gay couple. Ayo, that was nice to see.
Yeah.
Did you pick up on that, or am I crazy?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think I know what you're referencing.
Yeah,
But just
because me and
just
Kearns
explain
talked
it.
about it in the parking lot quite a bit. Well, the blind guy Chiro and his partner
them?
bodyguard. You can't even tell me they're not. I have you to protect me. I'll find you on the other
Yeah,
side.
I don't know.
The more the movie went on, the more it became evident that they were together. But Disney wasn't trying to throw it in your face.
Yeah, but I'll tell you one thing. The way how I took that, and coming in as this being a movie of war, like these guys had their livelihood stripped from them.
Right,
Okay?
right.
The Empire comes in.
Yep, they used to be guards.
Like, well,
Sacred mission.
Well, one's the guard.
No, they both were.
Well, no. Baz is a assassin.
I thought they were both.
I'm pretty sure he was a paid mercenary.
Okay.
That worked through the temple somehow, which is kind of cool. Because again, I think that would go with the theme of some of the other themes we see in the movie of, you know, like even the Empire being good sometimes,
Right.
Being completely bad and evil. The rebels,
Right.
Being good sometimes.
Yep, this time we get more
Crossing
of a
over.
dark side of the rebels.
Yeah. So I think even then, like maybe during this dark veil that was coming towards them, that, you know, Baz was this guy that they had to send out, that sent out to protect their interest. The blind guy, his name is really hard to pronounce.
It's like Chiro.
Yeah,
Chira.
he was one of the protectors of the Weller.
Right.
What is the exact name of that temple? Weller.
Temple of the Wells, I want to say.
Oh, Wells. Guardians of the Wells.
Right.
Okay.
Pretty much Kyber crystals.
Yeah, and that is something from the original Star Wars screenplay as well.
Right. The story was supposed to be read from the Journal of the Wells,
Yeah.
which was the Skywalker family saga.
Yeah, so, which is awesome. Okay.
The Wells are even mentioned in that Star Wars.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah, so I think their relationship is a wartime relationship.
I was thinking that at first. I really was.
Yeah, like brotherhoods emerge. There's a closest, and you know what? I'll tell you one thing. You don't have to like fuck someone or have the sexual tension, but if you're going to die for someone, you can love them. And
No, I don't
that's,
deny
you know,
that.
like that's what makes you.
It was
Makes them
there's
sacrifice.
subtle little things that just make me think that there was more
but
to them.
also, I think that's part of the best. I thought that was one of the highlights.
Oh, yeah.
that their
I'm not
relationship
denying.
is somewhat mysterious and ambiguous, and people criticize that. They were like, "We need to know more." Like they should have had this. They should have had that. I would like to have
I
known
thought it was
how
all
they would have met.
right in front of me.
Yeah,
I really
well, maybe.
the
Hey.
whole like I have you to protect me. I don't need and like he always follow and then the whole when he's walking out there and the dude's just screaming, come back, and then he goes out there and he lets him die in his own. I will find you. I will find,
Yeah.
and then he starts his cadence and he just gets up and he goes on a suicide mission.
Well, it's-
that to me, because I went the way I explained it to Kearns was, if you're dying in my arms and you're my best friend, I'm not going to tell you I'm going to find you because you're dead. I'll see you 30 years when I'm dead.
No, but these people don't believe that. They don't. Like, yeah, you're coming into this from Norm's world. You're not putting yourself in their environment. Their environment is that they know they can. They know there's a higher power. They know you can hone in on it, and you can train it, and you can pluck those piano chords. So when you pass on, there's a spiritual self. They know
Right.
that. And based on what we learned in episode 3, you can manifest it.
Right. Well, he says, I will
Obi-Wan goes
find you, and then he gets himself killed to go and find him, pretty
Yeah.
much. If that's me and Kearns, I'm going to wait.
No. He doesn't get himself killed to find him. He gets himself killed because he knows he has only one possible way of going out, but he knows he's going to die when he sees the shuttle.
Get blown up, right?
He's
only way off the rock.
The Shaquille O'Neal hook shot stormtrooper that throws that grenade right into the shuttle.
That was the moment when I knew none of them.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, K2. Now the pilot.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
Churro.
but when he sees that explosion and then everyone that was stuck with him in the door, okay, is dead, and it's only the two of them. Like they both knew. That's why.
Well, the explosion comes after,
Right, yeah.
Because they need to get the Churro had to flip the switch, so Churro goes, and
Yeah.
then the ship, and then he.
Yes, it's like he knew he was going to die at
Right.
that point. But it's almost like, again, it's like if you rewatch that scene, even before Churro goes to hit the switch, they're dead. They know they're dead.
Right.
Okay, but
You could tell by the tone in his voice, because the whole movie. The Force is with me. I'm one with the Force. The Force is with, the Force will protect me. However it goes, and then that time it's just, I am one with the Force. The Force will protect
Right.
me. I am one. Like he knows he's doing his death march at that point.
So let me tell you real quick some of the highlights I wrote down. Peter Cushing.
Yes, that was awesome.
I thought that was incredible.
That was
Okay.
and I called that a very long time ago. I was wrong. It was Krennic that I saw in the trailer.
Yeah.
but somehow Norm knew.
Vader. The
Dude,
battle.
that slaughter that he does at the end through that hallway.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is Darth Vader.
It's they really again. It's just like they knew exactly what that had to be like.
There was no
it's
holds
still-
bar.
and it's
People were
still-
going up on the ceiling. Lightsabers are flying.
Well, he
there's
cuts a
force
guy in the
choking.
ceiling in half too.
Yep,
Did you
yep.
see that? Because it looks like he forgot he was there. But I like it too that he puts the saber. He throws the saber behind him, and then he Magneto grabs the guns and throws the guns. So
Yep.
now you have 5 guys that are just unarmed against Vader.
Yep.
It's just too much. And then the reaction of the guy at the door,
Right.
which is help us open the door, and then
Get it,
then it went.
Get me out of
Then
it.
it went,
Just take it. Just take the plate. Just go.
because he
Just
knew
go.
he was he
Yep.
knew he was a goner. The battle at the end, I thought this one built mythology
Right.
back into a lot of Star Wars. I thought the cameos were awesome.
Yes.
The cameos and the callbacks were insanely smart.
They were to an extent.
Okay.
It's the same. It's like the same thing that we were talking about with the last one,
Well-
where if you haven't seen some of them, you're not going to get.
but here,
Like I got blue milk on the table in that first shot, but if me and Rachel were sitting down to watch it, it's exactly what we were.
But I'll tell you one thing. Who cares?
No.
Because you know why? Because in the years to come, people are going to discover these movies,
Mm-hmm.
and Rogue One might be the first one they see. And the blue milk is a callback to what they saw in Rogue One.
I could see that.
They're mixing it up to the point that they know that people will discover this content in all kinds of ways.
Yep.
And they're just putting out these feelers and these indicators, and it kind of works against my argument against for episode 1, which is the callbacks in episode 1 don't work if you watch the movies in order.
Right.
But if you just happen to watch Return on the holiday weekend on TNT, and then a couple of days later they're still running the Star Wars marathon, and you catch episode 1, you're just like, whoa, okay, and that's what's going to happen. And
Yep.
then maybe you skip a few, and you're like, hey, well, maybe I'll just watch New Hope right now, and you watch New Hope first, and then you watch Rogue One. Okay, so the other big thing is the design work. I thought that the overall design work and the art direction was incredible. I think the design work for the the U-wing ship is one of the best. The U-wing, the troop transport,
Right.
is just awesome. Those new TIE fighters,
With
that
the like single wing.
yeah,
Yeah.
those are awesome. The ATCT, the all-terrain cargo transport.
Was that the one with the hole in the middle?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, I think they all were like that. The ones that were whole had that hole filled.
Okay.
That's the cargo.
Okay.
Okay. So if people criticize that it's different in this one than it is in Empire, Empire had all-terrain armor transports.
Right.
It's those, and they're for military purposes. This is a world, the area that they needed protected on Sheriff or Sharif, is protected by a shield. There's
Right.
an Imperial fleet above it. Mm-hmm. So who's going to get through that? So you're like, you don't need the AT-ATs.
Makes sense.
For some, to me, it makes perfect sense. Some people are missing that point, and they're criticizing that scene a little bit for that. Okay, and then one of my real highlights on Yevon was the guy in the tower.
The second time, right?
Yeah, like, well, you see him twice.
Right.
Okay, but like the first time you see him with like that radar
With
gun.
the gun.
And then
the second time, he just looks defeated.
Well, the second time they're taking off.
like, I don't
But
care.
he registers what's coming in. Like, and he does that in New Hope.
Okay.
He's inbound, he's not outbound. I'm almost positive he's not doing that when the fleet's taking off to battle the Death Star. I'm almost positive. It seems like he's inbound and he could be part of, like, you know, the traffic control for whatever reason. Because, I don't know, Yevon is a Jedi temple. It's not made to have a fleet there.
Right.
So maybe they got to give him a little bit something extra to put that ship where it needs to go. I don't know. It's the funniest thing. Because that's one of the imagery that always stuck with me for whatever reason. Like, even when I was a kid, it just was like, whoa, like someone's working up there doing something.
Yeah.
You don't have to know what he's doing. It's like another layer. Always stood out. And here's the real highlight. You do have Peter Cushing.
Right.
Okay. The second true highlight for me is Greg Fisher.
Okay.
Do you know who that is?
No.
Greg Fisher is the cinematographer for this movie.
Okay.
He's the guy that shaded everything. You know, is the dirtiness that you see, the grit that you see that from his work.
Right.
This dude also has a filmography that I think is incredible. Okay? His first notable you might have seen is Let Me In.
Okay.
Okay? Killing Them Softly,
Okay.
Snow White and the Huntsman, which I love the look of that movie. Zero Dark 30.
Okay.
Okay, Foxcatcher. The Gambler. That was a Mark Wahlberg one. Very underrated remake, by the way. Lion. I haven't seen Lion.
Okay. Me neither.
And then he's on Rogue One, the Star Wars story. He's the hero of this movie in my eyes. The movie would not have its impact if this guy didn't do as good of a job that he did. I think every single frame you can print it out and you can put it up on your wall. Every single frame of this movie has a tone, and you can just say like the live action stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. But obviously the live action needs to match the special effects. The live action processing comes first. That's a huge reason why special effects are done after. You know, like they can do the animatics and set up the shots, but the actual rendering for the special effects is done after the live action. Number one, sometimes they need the live action.
Right.
But not really, because everything's measured in markers and it's calculated. Like, you know exactly where the camera is, so you can do your special effects, you know, like as the actors are performing. But they have to be rendered to match what the cinematographer is doing.
Right.
Okay. This guy just blew me away.
Oh yeah, I loved that most of this movie was practical too. Like
Yes.
they went
and
the
that
Force
lends to him.
Awakens, yep,
Yeah, it
route,
lends to
and
him.
it was the beach. You're on the beach. That's not green screen. There's
And real quick too, just to talk about Peter Cushing, because everyone's skipping, everyone's loving it. Mm-hmm. But Peter Cushing was born in May 26, 1913.
right.
He died in August 11th, 1994.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I just feel like we have to say that.
Yeah.
We have to kind of, because this guy had a career in British television, TV, film.
Oh yeah, he was a big
stage.
Hammer guy. He was Sherlock Holmes. He was.
And he will, in my eyes, forever be the best Sherlock Holmes.
I can see
From
that. I haven't seen any of them,
From
but
the Arthur Conan Doyle adaptations.
Right.
Now everybody wants to do Sherlock and make him modern day and give him a six-pack.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The Arthur Conan Doyle Sherlock Holmes.
he was an opium addict, right? Like he was
yeah.
chasing the dragon. I'm pretty sure.
Did not have a six-pack.
He had a coke problem too, didn't he?
Well, there was a lot of stuff done back then. There's a series of books with this guy Agent Pendergast, okay, written by Lincoln and Child. One of these books was made into a movie. It's called The Relic. Had Tom Sizemore and
Okay.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
the monster movie,
yeah.
right? Yep.
So
okay.
that movie is based on one of their books. This guy is like a little bit like a modern day Sherlock Holmes, but he does a lot of the stuff Sherlock Holmes does, which is he mentally mind walks through crime scenes and scenarios, and he's able to put himself into like a lucid dream and uncover those little tiny things.
Right.
Okay. So, but Cushing is forever Sherlock Holmes, the best. So, cameos and callbacks.
Yes.
These are the ones I kind of, in my phone, I wrote these down
Okay.
just cause as they were happening, I'm like, wow, like it's a lot. The ones that stood out for me, okay, in no particular order. The Walrus Man bump,
Right.
okay, in Jeddah.
Mm-hmm.
This one I completely loved,
Yeah.
which is because it's just doesn't even have to be there. It's just there, and it's so stupid and funny. And it's like you're like, oh my god, those guys are dicks wherever they go. Like, like they're just looking for trouble.
Yep.
Okay, the Star Destroyer crashing into the shield, which is a nod to Return of the Jedi, the Super Star Destroyer going nose down into the second Death Star.
Right.
Which was always one of my favorite parts. I don't know why. It's just I'm like, yes, like absolute destruction. I'm not even sure.
See, I thought that's what was going to take them out. I didn't think they were going to fire off the Death Star again. I thought those Star Destroyers were just going to come down on the base. And anyone who was still alive wasn't going to be after that.
The Peter Cushing reveal, which was set up similar to Episode 3,
Right.
with the reflection. You're like, oh, okay. I think that was a gotcha moment that got everybody.
Yep.
Anyone that's been following the movies. Okay. Mustafar,
Yeah.
Like,
Vader's castle.
dude, in Mustafar,
Yeah. Right.
Like
that poor son of a bitch can't get out of there.
dude. But I think it's also him, honoring his like history and almost like kind of saying this is where I was born. I
Yeah.
wasn't born in Naboo or what?
Tatooine.
Tatooine, right? I don't know why. What is it? Naboo?
No, it's Tatooine.
It's Tatooine.
Because he hates sand. Tusken Raiders, the pod
Yes,
race, and he was a slave. He was a slave to the Hutts.
Yeah, I always forgot he was a slave to the Hutts. Red leader, gold leader.
Right. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that was really cool
Uh-huh.
because now when you watch the Death Star run in New Hope, like these dudes have been through some shit.
Right.
Like-
and they're dead now, too.
Yeah, they have been through like.
I was waiting for Biggs to pop up. A little bit. I was waiting for them to throw a Biggs in there.
Well, Biggs could have his. So here's a little bit of I think the problem with Biggs. Okay. And the extended universe did a wonderful expansion of Biggs. They
Okay.
actually did a comic series on I think it might have been Empire when Empire launched at Dark Horse. They did. I think it launched with a big story, and it detailed his splintering off from the Empire. So there's a cut scene. Do you know of the cut scene in New Hope where Luke and Biggs have a conversation before? Mm-hmm. Okay. Real quick though, the other really big highlight / callback for me though was the Y-wings at work, where you actually saw them on bomb runs more than once.
Yeah.
And you never really saw that.
Dude, I don't know. I don't know.
Like
one of the
you actually
Y-wings,
saw them dropping the bombs.
Oh, yeah.
And that was just so cool.
One of the Y-wings looked like it had Chopper from the Rebels cartoon in it.
Oh.
Like that squarish orange.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Droid
Yes,
in the back.
Yeah, I did.
That looked like it might not be him
Well,
because he's like a malfunctioning
There's a ton
droid,
of rebels in
but-
this movie too.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. Going back to one of my favorite
Ghost
references.
Ghost is in that battle scene.
Yeah, he's in that battle scene, and they also reference the leader of
The general, right?
yeah.
They
And
reference him.
don't General Syndulla.
Yeah.
We just don't know if the daughter or the father is the general
Yeah.
in the rebellion.
And also, I still do not really know. I haven't seen Rebels.
Right.
I may get into it now.
This guy right here, because I think you might actually like. I know his species is there, but that's the dad. That's the daughter.
Oh, okay.
And I'm pretty sure you see him when they walk into one of the spots.
Maybe, yeah.
Because he'd be an older version, and that was definitely.
So overall, though, this movie was, my overall view of this movie is, I do put it above Empire, and I also put Force Awakens above Empire, and I just feel like they wanted to make a adult Star Wars movie,
Yeah.
and that's what this is. What?
Warwick Davis. He had one of my favorite looking characters in the movie.
Oh, the little.
He's the one that's with Saul's people in that initial
one. Yeah,
run.
that little mutant walking dude.
Not the monkey guy on the plane, the little ground
Yes.
troop dude.
Yeah.
Yep. I love the look of that guy.
Oh, I felt bad when the monkey
Looked like an Ewok and Yoda had a baby.
I felt bad when the monkey guy's Y-wing went down.
That was
and
a
they're
shame.
like, "We're coming down," and when they crash into the sand, and then you see all these stormtroopers just like pop up around them.
I was
Dude.
hoping that they were going to get out, and then the thing burst into flames. Not
Yeah.
dead. Nope, they're
It's-
dead. There's not going to be any cool aliens left after this for sequels.
I think that's another strong point is the unfocus of aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Even though there are aliens throughout the entire, there's new species in the entire movie.
Right.
The only one that's highlighted is the tentacle monster that reads the mind of the pilot guy.
Yep.
And I guess that's the one scene people just like they don't understand, they don't know what happened to him. That scene technically does not even have to be in the movie,
Right.
Because you could have had like another way for him to validate that. Yeah, it just kind of sucked.
I guess my biggest problem is they didn't give you enough of the backstory for Saul to know why he went from like just
Yeah.
a renegade rebel to like kind of crazy,
Yeah.
like really off of the rails rocker,
Yeah.
kind of
Well,
almost Lawrence Fishburne in Predators, kind of crazy.
Well, I like that people missed the fact that when you see him on the screen in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
when Kirik lands, which was amazing, like amazing series of shots, and they bring him up on the screen, he's bald, and then he has hair.
Right.
Okay, so the speech in the trailer when he says like, "What are you going to do when you're captured? What are you going to do? What are you going to do?" He's bald in that. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like, oh, dude, like he was saying that to someone at one point,
Right.
like And look, this movie is known for having reshoots, rewrites. It got reworked. I really don't care.
No.
Because I think it does all work, and I think the build up works. I think the urgency works. I think there's an uncertainty of Jen that is definitely there. I definitely was able to follow her more the second time
Okay.
because she is a broken character. She doesn't have trust. She
Right.
doesn't have love in her
She's
life.
been abandoned. She's been abandoned. She's been abandoned.
Yeah.
She's been screwed. She's been abandoned.
She's
been lied to.
And the other thing that really defines this movie for me, and this is why it is above Empire in my eyes. Empire is not tragic. Empire is uncertain.
Yeah.
It's uncertain that Han will live. It's uncertain that Leia and Han love each other, or Han loves Leia. It's uncertain that Vader and Luke are really father and son. It's uncertain that there's hope for the rebellion. This movie is Shakespeare. You make a giant weapon. You die by your giant weapon. Okay?
Yeah.
You maneuver within the Imperial ranks as a power play out of just wanting more power. You create a weapon that can kill billions of people at a time to gain more power. You, along the way, you mess up. You allow spies to get into your operation. This is why he had the Death Star taken away from him. This is why Peter Cushing, Grand Moff, said, "Look, you have to go. I will tell the Emperor this." This is why Vader, when Vader confronts Keurig, Vader is unconvinced.
Don't choke on your ambitions, director.
Yeah, and you see this guy crumbling from the inside out. Okay. His arc is one of the absolute best arcs in all of Star Wars. Might be the absolute best, because you get to see it all. Okay? You don't really care about this guy's backstory. Like,
Right.
what happens here is all you need to know about this guy. His arc is Shakespeare. Now, you have Jen and the Urso.
Yes.
Right? Is that how we pronounce it?
Yep.
Urso?
Jen
Okay.
Urso. Galen
The
Urso.
Urso family now is subject to the Empire. Through the actual existence and the will of the Empire, this family dies off.
Yes.
The bloodline does not exist. Okay? Even to the point that her father loves the Empire. See, like, I think this is a little bit what people have missed. He is not rebelling against the Empire. He does not want to rebel. He's against this weapon. He views the weapon as a tool for terror. Okay? There's no other reason to explain his point of view, because his daughter has a stormtrooper doll.
Right.
He honors the Empire. He's actually probably for their mission, which is order. But he's against the use of this weapon. He thinks it goes too far, even for the Empire.
Makes sense.
Okay? And that is his weakness that he builds in, is a rebellion against using the weapon, not the Empire. He wants the weapon gone. Okay? Him dying, the wife dying, the daughter dying, all through the Death Star's work.
Yep.
And one man's ambition. Shakespeare. It's absolute Shakespeare. Okay? It's above Empire on that notion. It really is.
Okay.
Okay? To me, Empire is it's fantastic. It's got the best score, like the best run of the score. It was the first of these movies to have true imagery.
Yeah.
Okay, we did not get in Return of the Jedi. We didn't get as much imagery in Return of the Jedi as we did in Empire. Empire is just like stacked.
Definitely.
Like every single scene has like new scenes, new environments.
Yep. Return just rehashes half of
Yeah.
Empire.
Well, like
Minus Hoth, you go back to Dagobah, you go back to the Death Star, you see Yavin, or Endor, I'm sorry, which is just another Yavin.
Yeah.
You know, it just...
Well, yeah, and here's the thing with Return of the Jedi. I also feel we have to say, when they sat down to make that movie, there was no return. This was the last Star Wars.
Right.
This was a cash grab. They needed merchandising. We talked about this before. You
Right.
had Ewoks.
Yep.
You had a conglomerate emerging. You had a third movie that was going to have more merchandising sales than any other movie in history. So people wanted to cash in. Lucas wanted to cash in. The actors wanted to. Everyone had their hand out.
Right.
They put together a movie that essentially is only 2 scenes. You only need 2 scenes in that movie. The beginning where they rescue Han and Luke's confrontation with Vader. That's your whole movie.
Yeah.
Everything else in that movie is, I mean, the Rebel, seeing the Rebel Alliance at work is like all of those, but you can even subtract that because it doesn't even add to anything.
Right.
Luke's got to confront Vader. You have to confirm that Luke is Vader's son. Mm-hmm. So maybe it's 3 scenes, and then it's rescuing Han.
Right.
That's it. And there's really no other thing that happens in Return of the Jedi that's engaging, other than things that tickle your fancy that you like for different reasons. So there's a lot of there's a personal if you personally find things interesting and nice and fun, you like Empire more or less.
Right.
Okay. I still feel though, with all that, I still feel Empire is overrated. No, not overrated. I'm sorry, underrated. I think it's a better movie than a lot of people give it credit for.
I believe it.
Okay, because it is a complete arc. Return could exist as Episode 4. Like it's that type of movie. It's almost like 4 and 5. New Hope and Empire could be one block. Mm-hmm. Return whatever would come next, if it was a closer sequel or a closer episode, could have worked.
Right.
Like you could have had 6 and 7 be a lot different. Mm-hmm. Okay, but we didn't get that.
Right.
Okay, but at the same time though,
we very well could. One of the main theories that I've been seeing floating around now is after we've seen Young Leia, after we've seen all these throwbacks and everything, people are starting to wonder if one of the next spin-off movies is going to take place between 6 and 7 and maybe show Mark Hamill's rise and fall within the...
Yeah, here's what I want them to do. I want them to get through the spin-off education.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I want them, if they have to do another movie that has like a noticeable connection, do it. Like they have to do, if they do a Boba Fett solo movie, a Yoda solo movie, fine. It just educates people that these Star Wars movies are not episodes.
Right.
And I still feel like eventually the episodes are going to get like downgraded, but it's going to take a long time. But you'll just get Star Wars movies and they won't be episodes.
Right.
Okay.
The saga will end.
Yeah.
But Star Wars will continue.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually a pretty good tagline.
Yeah.
TM, copyright.
Back off, sucker, it's mine.
Can we Rogue One the Ewoks? That's really what I want.
Unfortunately, we already have 2 of those. They were made for TV, and they're god awful.
Yeah, we're not doing that. Yeah,
I own them.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
Walmart $5
Yeah,
bin.
Hashtag Walmart $5 bin. Yeah. But really though, can we Rogue One the Ewoks?
I don't see why not.
I just really want that, even if it's a side sequel to Return, between 6 and 7. That now that the Alliance knows about this primitive species, that you see more of the Ewok life, you see more of the Ewoks, that you bring the Ewoks out of the joke shelf of the Star Wars bookcase. Mm-hmm. Like you elevate them. Like, elevate the Ewoks. Make them deadly warriors. Make them smell. Make them piss. Make them, shit. Make them... I want to see some Ewoks having sex. I want to see...
You have to go to Comic-Con for that.
Yeah, I want to see these animals. I'm going to run through a Verge article that I took some notes from.
Okay.
Of some of the Easter eggs.
Okay.
Some of them we already brought up. But I'm just going to run through this. Blue milk.
Right.
Okay. When I wrote this down, this is what came to mind. You have the most merchandised movie in the history of planet Earth. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Mm-hmm. We need to start making blue milk.
Right, someone. Can we just... Where's the blue milk Star Wars tie-in? Where is that? Where is that product?
The last time I saw blue milk... It's when
Do I want to know this?
well, back in the day, it might not. I don't think it was a Star Wars tie-in, but back in the day, they came out with Oreos, where if you dunked them in your milk, it turned your milk blue.
Yes, I remember that.
That is the closest I've come to seeing blue milk. Were those Oreos that did it?
I just some because I think NECA, the toy company at one time did Stay Puft marshmallows.
Okay.
Okay.
They were floating around for the reboot.
Well, were they Stay Puft or were they marshmallow ghost? Were they?
They were.
I don't know if they were They did like actual Stay Puft, like like the bag.
It said Stay Puft on the bag and everything.
Yeah.
I think they might have just been in shapes instead of just the round one. But the bag was Stay Puft with the Marshmallow Man in the corner.
Yeah.
And
did they? Okay.
all the crap. Yeah.
So like if they can do that,
Kind of like the Twinkies that we
Yes.
picked up. Kind of like those.
if they can do that for Ghostbusters, they can just do this for Star Wars. What is wrong with you?
I don't know.
We already referenced the Stormtrooper doll.
Right.
I wrote a quick note, like, what's the meaning of this? But I think we already dissected that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This one was cool, and I did look this up, and I'm so happy the article kind of confirmed it. Here we go. Ready? We're talking geek now. Further geek. The HAVW A6 Juggernaut is in this movie. How excited are you?
The who and the what now? Where?
Okay. The HAVW are those giant rolling tanks with the 6
Okay.
wheels that you see at the mining, at the labor camp where they rescue Jen.
Right.
We see those in episode 3. Okay. I thought that was cool. That's been one of my. I like chunky big vehicles that just look like I love all of that design, like philosophy methodology outside of the Tumbler for Batman, because I think that's a horrific piece of garbage.
You're not getting that through Gotham City streets without killing half a dozen people every time you drive
it kind of only works for Batman Begins, right? Mm-hmm. And they stuck to it.
Right. They should have slimmed it down each movie.
Do something with that thing.
Okay. It's a motorcycle now. Vroom, vroom.
Yeah, it's just weird.
yeah.
Okay. Outside, but that's a little bit, and this goes back to my love of Aliens when I was younger, because they're not the drop ship, but the vehicle
Okay.
that comes out of the drop ship that is like the battering, like
You're just grinding metal.
Yeah.
Bring it down. Bring it down.
that vehicle, and I should know the name or whatever, but that is such because you know what it is, when those are toys, they feel so good in your hand.
Those are the ones you could slam into a wall 100 times, and it's still mint condition.
And it's not X-wing, but you have to fix the cannons like every single time. All right. And then we have, in the Jeddah Marketplace, we have Walrus Man and Friend. We have the ATST, All-Terrain Scout Transport. And you know what I love? When that battle breaks out, I just love it how that sucker rolls in, like comes around the corner, just firing, like coming in hot. It's like, like I'm like, yo, that. Yeah.
Do you have the Han Solo reference on there?
No, what's the Han Solo?
It was very subtle.
Let's see it.
All right. Well,
Or
it's
let's
not.
hear it. Let's hear it. Talk about it.
When they're running through Jeddah, right? Kasdan turns the corner and he sees the one storm and he blasts him.
Yes.
And he puts his gun down real calm like, and then the 12 other stormtroopers come in and start blasting at him. That was almost Han Solo-esque when he's chasing the one down the hallway and finds the 12. It like because he does the like, all right, I'm cool now. I'm gonna put it down, and then everyone.
Well, let me Han Solo you.
Okay.
I'm going to take your Han Solo and I will raise you one Han Solo.
Okay.
What do we see in Rogue in Force Awakens with Han Solo and his blaster? He's looking over here, shoots a stormtrooper.
Right.
What do we see K9 do?
Oh yeah.
Or droid, right?
Yeah.
He's looking over here, picks it up, gets that guy as soon as the door opens.
Yep.
Okay. I thought that was a Force Awakens reference.
Okay.
Okay. And it does kind of, but that's what I'm talking about. Like, they're structuring these so you can, when you watch these movies, and if you took these movies and you threw them up in the air, and however they fell down, you just watch them in that order, like, that's what they're building towards. And I'll tell you, what they did with this movie, they did something people already said they were never going to do when they saw episode 7, which is reference 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. We got Bail Organa.
We got a ton of original or new trilogy references.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we did.
So here we go. one of Saul's soldiers has the black scout trooper helmet. Did you catch that guy?
No.
Yeah, it's so the helmets from Endor.
Okay.
The guys with the visors.
Oh yeah. I did see
it's
that
all
guy.
black.
Right,
but
right.
I just love that too because it's like he killed that Imperial officer. And he's like, I want the helmet, and he's like, I gotta make this mine. So he's like, I'm gonna paint it black.
You know what's
Like,
funny about that? Ironically enough, the main kid from Rebels, his whole thing is stealing Imperial garb. So he has like 12 different Stormtrooper helmets on the ship now.
That's cool.
And the Mandalorian girl they travel with has to tag everything. She puts her own spray painted spin on.
Yeah,
So like that's kind of nice little.
And then the RA-7 droid is also at Jeddah. That's the chrome droid with the bug eyes.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
And we already talked about the Guardian of Wills from the original screenplay. We talked about Vader's castle.
Right.
We discussed the Yavin base, Obi-Wan and Leia references, both, and we also see R2 and C-3PO.
Yeah.
Some people are they don't like the R2 thing, but I'm like, who cares? Like, okay.
We all know he was traveling with Leia at that point because they're on the ship together at the beginning of 4.
What I'm interested in is a little bit of the Leia R2 C-3PO adventures that C-3PO references in the beginning of episode 4, where he says, I don't see the princess getting out of this one this time.
Right.
Like, I'm like, that would be a cool freaking movie.
Yeah, it would.
All right. Battle of Scarif. We have something people are also missing. The female pilots. Do you know? Here's why this is significant. There was a lot of extra pilot footage shot for Return of the Jedi. One of the pilots that they shot is another Admiral. I don't know what race that is. There was an Admiral Akbar fighter pilot.
Yeah, they're Mon Calamari.
Okay.
If they're not Mon Calamari, the Squid Dudes are the Mon Calamari, and there's something else. But.
Originally in episode 6, Return of the Jedi, they shot a pilot of that.
Right,
So,
which got added back into the Blu-ray.
okay, yeah. And then there was also female pilots shot back in when they made the movie.
Right.
So there's like, to me, there was nothing new. Okay. And there's now they have footage to maybe pop back into Return. I don't really care. Like, I just thought that was cool. Like, you also see female pilots running around the landing deck
Right.
in Force Awakens. You see a couple female pilots like running by. So this is not like, it wasn't new to me. It was cool that they saw it. Blue Squadron.
Right.
Do you know why Blue Squadron is significant?
I know they were initially supposed to be in, but the blue didn't transfer.
The blue screen on Blue Squadron.
Right. It wasn't until The Force
created
Awakens,
the-
that they could.
Well, yeah.
Get that.
Well, it was like the digital technology created green screen. Originally, it was blue screen because of the optics. Blue Squadron couldn't show up, so it went from blue to Red Squadron.
Right.
So here we have, and I'll tell you one thing: the general guy that died, his Blue Squadron gear is just awesome.
Yeah.
He's just so
Yep.
freaking cool looking with the mustache, and then like the guy that runs out and tells them about what's happening. He like runs out. He's like, "Man." Like the rebels are okay. Like that guy has a handlebar mustache. It is so freaking. That's what I mean about the art direction for this movie.
Yep.
It was analog. Like the technology was analog. The giant screens that they had for the Imperials with like the circles and the weird measurements freaking worked.
Right.
Like the art direction for this movie is as good as anything because the art direction resembles a movie that was made 40 years ago.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And it's essentially recreating a period piece. It's a period piece movie.
Yep.
Okay, that's Oscar worthy because usually the movies I win for art direction for Oscars are movies that recreate things that already existed.
Yep.
Which is kind of goofy.
It is.
Like how things look and you're just copying it. I know there's
Who
more.
can copy it best?
Yeah.
The King's Speech, or
I was gonna say, was that your Sean Connery?
no, it just kind
Who
of
can copy it best?
lovely party.
Welcome to The Rock.
Pity I wasn't invited.
Okay, ghost reference in Battle Scarf. We
Right.
see the ghost.
Right.
Okay, here we go. here's one of the big ones. This is the biggest one the article had. The Hammerhead. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's from the Knights of the Old Republic.
Okay. Okay.
Like, what the hell, right?
Very nice.
I want to know more about that, because I'm like, dude.
That's the one that pushed him into
Yeah.
the other one, right? Okay.
Like,
Okay.
forward thrusters.
We're going in.
Like, as soon as he said that, like, Hammerhead Corvette, I was like, dude, they're going to, like, I thought they were going to do something else. I thought they were going to, like, have this medium-sized ship, like, come in and just, like, crash into it. But I did not see that coming. I thought, like, it kind of just based on, like, what the flow of that sequence was, I was like, oh, okay, they're just going to, like, beat it up.
Kamikaze at this
But
point.
dude, that
Yeah.
was such a dude, and it cuts like right through, like the top part, and the top part just like starts to flake off, dude, man. And you know what? I'll tell you, the second best sequence like that in any other movie is Starship Troopers, where those ships start to break and flake off and crumble, and that was it.
Yeah.
Like that type of shot. So this is what I mean about this movie, how it builds. Definitely has this emotional, climactic, you know what the stakes are, easy to read, easy to invest into payoff. Okay? You do not get see, people are like, the movie moved so, like, you know what, when you criticize a movie like that, when you have this giant epic battle at the end where,
Right.
because I'm telling you, dude, I was sad when the monkey dude died.
Yeah.
And you see him for what, 15 seconds?
Yep.
Like, when you have that, and that's a female pilot too for that U-wing, and she's like,
Yep.
we're going down. Dude, you're almost like, oh my God. Like, you just felt
Can't anyone
sad.
I love from this movie live?
Yeah, you just felt so sad because, dude, that girl was like a little, like, she dropped that crew off, like, without landing. Like, dude, man, like, that girl was like, again, it's like Vietnam helicopter pilot,
Yep.
dude. Like, you got balls of steel.
And that fucking laugh that monkey dude does, man.
Yeah, I know. He's so happy when he cripples the leg from the ADAT for like the ATCT. Yeah, so like that's what I mean. Like, so to get the reaction that everyone felt when that movie was building, like towards its final moments,
Right.
you do not get that without doing what they did in the beginning. It just doesn't work. You know, they had some action leading up to it, enough to get through. You know, okay? Like,
Yeah.
everything in Jeddah was your two action sequences. The plane getting hit by the Death Star.
And the initial siege.
Yeah, and then everything in, like, the marketplace. And then you had the siege. Okay, it does not work that way. Like, there's no other way around it. Okay,
Right.
you cannot have, if there was a bigger set piece in Rogue One for like the initial 2 acts or like the initial like hour and change, it would not be impactful. It wouldn't. If you look at the Avengers movie, all right, the Avengers movie, which also has a very similar structure to Rogue One.
Yep.
Okay, if it was a bigger set piece before they fought the aliens, it wouldn't have the impact of when they finally do fight the aliens. And this is what I'm talking about. Why this movie? I do Gareth Edwards, the director. I do think this dude is the bomb. Okay, I was even rewatching Godzilla. Okay, I'm sorry. Like, I think Godzilla moves at such a cool speed. And you know what? Like, I know your criticism is like, well, if it's called Godzilla, let's see Godzilla. But then again, I'm like, we all know what Godzilla looks like.
Yeah, no,
so,
I know.
Like, so can we do something else with that? And
Yeah.
I thought they did. I think it builds into that battle, and then even when Godzilla like sleeps at the end, he like, and then he goes back into the ocean. He like sleeps overnight because he's got to like regenerate himself because he's like, it's the funniest thing. It's such an animal thing to do.
Right.
But it's really like, that's what Rogue One is, though. Rogue One is, it's also like a defining movie in this guy's career, and
Easily.
okay, because it delivers and so well done. And I really do feel like this movie will have word of mouth. I think this movie is going to resonate. It's going to carry, and I think it leads a lot for the Han Solo movie to measure up to.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, by far.
And it does. Here's the other part that we were discussing earlier, that maybe it should connect to episode 8. What this does now is hype episode 8 up even more. Mm-hmm. Okay, because at this point I'm just like, oh my god, episode 8.
Yeah.
Because like, you don't. It
It's
doesn't.
a year. It's a year.
Yeah.
We'll have a trailer soon if you really think about it.
Yeah.
More than just episode 8 Star Wars with the
And-
music cueing, like actual footage.
Yeah, that's one of the things I really, 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 really enjoyed about Rogue One was that it had balls from the filmmaker's point of view, the writing, like the art direction, what the studio did with it. Okay, the studio just saying it's going to be business as usual. You know, you're going to get a T-shirt, you're going to get all this stuff. Business as usual, done like the right way, and it's another definition of corporate movies, meaning that, like, you know, these guys kind of know what they're doing, and you have to honor it. You have to kind of say thank you for caring, because this is a movie built on care. It's a movie built on love.
yeah.
Okay, it's the only way. It's the only way that these subtle references and callbacks work if you know, and they work if you don't know. It doesn't matter. Okay, but it really is. And real quick, I did want to ask you this. I wish we talked about this earlier, but anyone that's listening, this is a real point. This is a real thing to analyze. And I think I'm just going to throw this out there. I want to hear what you have to say, and we're going to call it quits after that.
Okay.
We're dealing with the Tarantino generation making movies now. The people that grew up with Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction.
Right.
And the creation of, like, what they call the cinephile, which are the movie lover that builds the library, that watches obscure movies, that memorizes movies, that studies the art of movies. Okay, that was a little bit of what came off through the Tarantino generation, was a educated base that self-analyzed movies and analyzed movies, like now, like reflected and analyzed. You know, like it's almost like Reservoir Dogs and then Scream. Those are your tool schools, and you know, people go down both paths.
Right.
So within that mix, we have Kevin Smith and we have Clerks. He makes Clerks. Clerks is a part of this like emerging cinephile love of independent movie wave that's happening in the 90s.
Okay.
Clerks, for a generation of people that want to make movies, people that would do anything to break into the big show. Well, Clerks kind of, their jokes have now created 2 movies.
Yeah.
The joke and criticism within Clerks created Force Awakens and created this movie. And the Force Awakens that I'm referencing, right, is what's his name? What's the stormtrooper's name in Force Awakens?
Finn.
Finn. You know, Finn's occupation is
Garbage man. Sanitation.
It's in response to Clerks. This movie is in response to Clerks. You want to know the people that built the Death Star? You want to know this? You want to know more about the Death Star? Well, here you go.
Yep.
So that's my take. I really do feel like these people grew up paying attention,
I could see that.
and they kind of like, and it's not just Edwards, the director. I'm talking like there's other people involved in movies that you
yeah.
don't know about. But I'm saying there's enough of these people out there that were really struck by what happened
In
with
that
Kevin Smith and
conversation.
Clerks. Yeah.
Yep.
And now these people are the ones making movies.
Yeah.
And here we go. And this is also why I think to validate episode 7, they had that big Kevin Smith visit, which was like the real big, like a little spoilery, a little please tell me the movie's good, wait, like press that they put out, or even propaganda.
Right.
Okay. That like he validated Force Awakens.
What was going on set,
Yeah.
how it looked.
early enough.
Yep.
To drive that, you know, what was it, 57 million?
Yeah, I believe
Okay,
so.
opening day, and I think that I believe that's a little bit more of that reason too. That's why he resonates. It's not that Kevin Smith has superior points of views and even presentation, but he's connected to the culture through a freaking joke he wrote for a black and white movie he made for no money, filled with dick and fart jokes,
Yep.
and I love it.
You sucked how many cocks?
Yeah, in a row. And I think I think we will leave on that note. So,
Alrighty.
so I guess this is goodbye.
Yeah, until next time, guys.
Till next time. What?
I was just
what
I
you were
was
just
thinking
thinking
about
that what will be
what
next
we're going to
time.
be doing next
What's
time.
going to be next time before we say next time?
Well, I know we have Christmas presents, so that'll
Oh,
be
yeah, we're
a
gonna
short
do-
little
we're
segment.
gonna do a Christmas exchange.
Maybe we'll just do some games. You know what I mean?
Board games? Video
No,
games?
no, like
Drinking games.
But
Would you like to get drunk before we record?
Oh, we could do that. We could do that. I'll be done school come Monday. So
I think we should do that.
yeah,
Well,
me and my boss play a little game.
Well, you haven't seen Independence Day Resurgence.
I have not.
Do we want to talk about that? No, maybe we can wait for that because that's my love.
I'd rather check it out before we talk about it.
Have you seen? Suicide Squad extended cut?
Not yet. Not yet.
Maybe we can go back to Suicide Squad
Okay.
for a little. I don't
We'll
know.
figure something out.
Yeah, but okay. I feel bad. Usually we've been very disciplined in hyping up the next episode.
Yeah,
we don't
we'll-
have anything.
We'll have
other
some
than
Christmas
right
fun
now.
together.
Should we?
That's
Yeah, maybe we'll watch some Christmas movies.
there we go.
Yeah.
Have you seen Santa Sleighs with Bill Goldberg?
I have not. No, I do want to. You know, I'm a huge Goldberg guy too.
Dude, that
I'm a huge
is my
Goldberg fan.
favorite Christmas movie.
Yeah,
every
you were
year.
talking about that before. Maybe we'll do that. Okay. All right. Signing off.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, guys. Have a good one. Be safe.
May the force
Be with us all.